The views expressed in this interview are those of the individuals and do not reflect the official policy or position of the U.S. government, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Navy, or the Naval Postgraduate School. Welcome to the Trident Room, brewer of stout conversation, unfiltered and on tap. On today's episode, senior producer Sara Dixon sits down with the Love Shack's Chef Loveday.
Well, 23 years, every year there's a new cohort of students that come in. I know our faculty rotate out. I mean, to me, just understanding 23 years of service in the military, just how many generations of officers and people you've encountered and you've served in your 23 years here at NPS. Like, I can't even imagine. All four services, all of our international students, essentially the Love Shack and your legacy has carried over through generations.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it continues,
I hope so too, because we do have a huge large of student coming in PS. Never had it before. We have Homeland Security is very, very large for Homeland Security. We got a police station, we got a fire department, you name it now, they're sending people here to school from different, not strictly military, from the outside of military, as those departments say. Those people also been always, known about what Cafe and Love Shack, and there's a group of Homeland Security. They come twice a year, and they always come and look for me, and so they always bribe about the food I made for them, and they always tell me thank you for everything I do. To me, it's a big, I don't say it's a big plus for me, but it's a big plus my team and I we do, because I put my heart into it. But to go back to the Love Shack, and then there's a couple things I would like to share with you, and I don't tell that to a lot of people. And during the war in Iraq war after 9/11, and we have a huge transition of students move around, they got to leave.
Right.
So I had this one officer, I couldn't remember his name. I see so many people I can't remember the name no more. I always call them anyway, sir, ma'am, And so he was always at the cafe, always get a breakfast burrito. He loved breakfast burrito. But before that started, the student came to me and said, Chef, why you don't make a breakfast burrito here? Because we go in town, we find breakfast burrito, we find it. So that come from student. They asked me to make something for them. I'm not here to make things on my own to give it to them. If they ask me something, I can provide it. Yes, I will make it, because it's a demand. But the burrito story, after I started, the burrito story went with Iraq war.
Wow.
So when we closed this base down, nobody will have access. Okay, and it was only me and the executive chef. Very little bit of people come to work. So, and then we started the cafes, get along, moving again. He came to me, he told me, he says, Chef, he says, I'm leaving, and I'm going to Iraq. I said, sir, just be careful, and give your wife and your kid a hug, and I will pray for all of you. And I told him that. And I said, just thank you for what you're doing, He turned around, looked at me, he says, Chef, he said, thank you for what you doing for us. So he left. Didn't hear from him. So another guy, a gentleman, came from Iraq. He was like, I don't know if he was a release of him or whatever, but he came from Iraq. When he went over there in the battlefield, he told people over there about the Love Shack. And he told people about the breakfast burrito.
About how he asked for one, and then you, in return, started making breakfast burritos
for
the students.
Okay, how good it is. So he tells you that Cafe Del Monte's story and myself went everywhere in the world already. So this guy came here, NPS, arrived here, came to the cafe, and one of my staff came and said, Chef, there's a customer who would like to talk to you. I said, okay. I said, what's going on? Something is wrong? And they said, no. And I said, he's mad? No, he insisted he wanted to talk to you. I said, okay, just I'll be out there. So I get out and I went back there. He was a tall man, okay, a tall black guy, nice guy, okay, and buff. I'm looking at him, I'm like, I think he probably was a Marine, probably, but he didn't have the uniform on. I couldn't
Okay, so
tell.
just this really big male officer.
Yeah. And then I come to find out after that he was a Marine. So, and then he came to me, he says, I said, sir, can I help you? Or what's, if something is wrong. He turned around, he looked at me, he's looking me down like that, of course. He says, there's nothing wrong. He told me the story about the breakfast burrito, what happened
the story of the breakfast burrito.
in Iraq, and he's coming back here. He was told when he get here in PS, because he knew he's coming, he was told, you have to go to the shack. You have to get a breakfast burrito. I turned around and said, well, sir, I will buy you a breakfast burrito. He told me, no, I cannot accept that. I said, sir, in my power, yes, you will. You're not paying for it. I'm buying it. But I can understand why, because military is not supposed to take anything free or whatever it is. But it's over there. I went inside and I grabbed a breakfast burrito, which was a bacon. I went back and said, here, there's a breakfast I would like to. He said, I'll pay. I said, no, you're not. I said, I want you to enjoy it. And then I'll see you down the road, after that. We became very good friends. We came to Trident Bar. Sometimes you see me, say, I'll buy you a beer, singing with you. So that's those things I create with people as military, or anybody else. It's a service. The word went out. He came back and was like, I'm going to keep on serving him. So go back to the second story, and then I will finish with that as to ask another question. And I was always grilling out there at the cafe, the shack, all the time. Every time they come by and they smell it, they see me out there, I cut a little piece, I can make them taste it, and I'll be back. They always come back. So I had this professor, actually, he's still here. And he always traveled back and forth to New Orleans. He told me, he says, hey, New Orleans makes some good barbecue over there, good ribs, and da. He says, well, when I had yours, it's just really, really good. He said, when I went back, I was telling people over there how great the ribs is good at the Love Shack. The Love Shack. So they didn't believe him. So he bought 2 racks of ribs from me that day he was flying that night.
Oh, wow.
He finished teach, and he bought it. He made me wrap it really good, plastic and foil. You want it? He came back. He told me, he says, I told them about it. They didn't believe me. He says, oh, my God. He says, they were ready to just eat their fingers because that's how good they say it was. He said, but I told them that. And so my ribs travel across. Wow. Go back to the burrito. As a student, have to leave here and go. I don't remember which state he had to go for his next duty station. He was leaving that afternoon. He ordered 12 burritos from me, 6 bacon and 6 sausage. And I said, where are you going? He told me where he was going. He probably was going to Norfolk, probably. Okay. And I said, it's going to be cold. He said, no, it's not. He says, I got a nice little cooler. He said, wrap it really good for me. I'm going to put it in there. He said, I'm trying. I'm going to get there tomorrow morning. And he says, it'll be good. He texts me. He asked me for it. He texts me. He says, Chef, the burrito is still hot. Is that a great story?
That is a great story.
But that's the Love Shack.
I have frequented the breakfast burrito line and had my share of breakfast burritos, and I can't say that I think I love them even more now, knowing like the origin story that the Love Shack's breakfast burrito started at the request of a student back in 2001, 2002.
No, we opened the shack in 2004.
2004.
2004 we opened the shack.
So 2004. Yeah, that's quite the legacy of a breakfast burrito.
Yes. I signed it too. Yeah, I did.
Gosh, that's really awesome. As a somebody who also loves to cook, and I would say I'm more of a baker, I'm more of a pastry chef than even though I do love to host friends and family and cook. Mm-hmm. Like I grew up where food was a love language. where you shared your love with the
Mm-hmm.
people around you through the food you make. And so, kind of asking as your journey as a chef, what was one of the biggest obstacles through your career on, you had this idea of a flavor or a food or a dish you wanted to make and you struggled with it? Or was there just because you're from the Seychelles and coming to America and getting into the chef community here in the US, like what was the biggest challenge throughout your career that you think you faced and overcame?
My biggest challenge, I didn't believe, I didn't believe in myself, and for me to push that challenge out to the public, or I would say, and I might get a no, it's no good, or whatever it is. That was my biggest worried and stuff. How I can do this, how I can make those things happen, how I can make people believe what I can provide to you. Okay, but and I'm always go back listen to what my dad used to say. Continue do what you like to do or what you want to do. You will be successful. You're gonna see this door close in front of you. Don't let that stop you. Keep on push that door back open. You'll be successful no matter what you do, either cooking or whatever. Because I grew up in the restaurant business. My parents had a bar business, a restaurant, and so and that's always bring that back to my mind. To see, don't let that stop.
I think that's a beautiful lesson.
Go back again to the smile when I talk to someone about the food, or even no food involved, and it's the smile I have when people tell me you always bring everything together because of that.
Service with a smile.
So it's
I think that's a beautiful challenge, and it's a great lesson for not just being a chef, but arguably any person's career. Biggest obstacle could be yourself or your own belief in yourself that you can overcome those obstacles and do the things you want to do and enjoy doing.
Yeah, because I've been to a few conference. I was married before and stuff like that, and so then we were involved in some network marketing business. So yeah, I was still working, but I was involved in that doing this as a side business. And then we were going to those conference, like two times a year, 3 times a year. That's another thing. It pushes you into to open your door also, because you are there. They tell you that don't accept no, don't. The more they say no to you, the more you run you down. You just like you don't want to do it because if you find something you really love, you want to do, and people want to tell you no, they're stealing that gold from you.
Mm-hmm.
They say that in those conferences I've been many, many times. They repeat it over and over. Say, don't let that happen to anybody, to any of you here in this room. Force it, make it happen, because they want that gold from you. That's why they keep on no, 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 no. And that's one of the things with the food. So I did because. And I'm always, when I cook, especially here at the cafe, okay, I always make the customer, if they come by, make them taste it. Because to me, it's something for them to realize I'm not just coming here to buy it without me to know what I'm buying.
Yeah.
So that's.
I think that's a great lesson. I know. I'll definitely have to remember that and take that away, because my husband likes to remind me sometimes that sometimes I'm my biggest critic, and what everybody else sees is beautiful, I see is just like the disaster or the mess that I made to achieve it. So he believing in yourself and not accepting a no
Mm-hmm.
To
Yep.
somebody else taking your dream.
Yep.
Beautiful lessons.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. But I got a text message this morning from someone up DLI is a new command. I knew the guy left, and I'm good friend with him. So and then the other one came on board, been introduced, brought him down here, introduced him to me, and we were up in the tower room. So and we were talking. I said, "Well," I said, "Sir," I said, I said, "Nice to meet you," and him and his wife, nice couple. And the CEO of there was with him because I know him and his wife too. And we were talking about it, and the CEO said, "Oh, I heard you're gonna retire." I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Well, that's those days, I said, and so I thought it was maybe a joke and stuff like that, but I don't think it was. I think it was. I kind of answered yes, but I'm like I didn't pursue. So then, as we were talking that day, that weekend, that Friday night, and obviously the Cork and Folk was August, that last one I just did, and the ticket was sold out, and I want them to go, and we couldn't get the ticket. So I worked so hard to make it happen, to bring him and his wife on board for that. Okay, and I did. Okay, as we were talking, they love everything I did, the food, and it was a sit-down pairing actually at the Love Chateau.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. If you want to see pictures and stuff like that, I would like you to contact our marketing. They got a lot of pictures of me. If you want pictures of me, a picture of the food and stuff like that, they have it.
Perfect.
Okay. So I got them in, they got it, they love it. So as we were talking and stuff like that, I said, "Yeah, you're going to retire." And this guy says, "Would you like to have color guard?"
Yes.
Yeah. So he sent me a text this morning. He says, "I didn't think he was working on that, but apparently he was." He says, "He's been approved for your retirement for color guard at 1500, 31st of August at the quarter deck." So I would like you to let me know. We can pass it down to the leader. The guy's going to be, we can set a time to get practice and to make that happen. Nobody knows that. I'm in shock. Did I deserve color guard?
Yes, you do.
He told me that. Because he says, "You deserve color guard. Even if you didn't serve as in the uniform, you still serve us. So you deserve the color guard." Color guard is not only for military, it can be only for civilian also. It depends how long they serve in that government. I'm just like, color guard? So I answered back this morning. I was like, "Yes, go ahead." So hopefully everything goes well, and then they contact me. We got to come back up here and practice on every. So I'm just sharing that with you, and nobody knows, and either my boss or anybody else. I don't know. Maybe the CEO of the BC might be. He probably will, and because he's going to be there, and but apparently nobody else is going to know, and it'll be everybody going to say, "Why is getting color guard?"
Yes.
My students love me.
We do.
They all love me, and I love all of them. They're amazing. My sadness at MPS, it's them. That's my biggest sadness. To
leave the students.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do you have any big plans for retirement?
No, not yet. And I want to relax, rest as much as I can. And then I'm going to focus into, back to work again. I'm not going to just sit in. I can't sit down. And I'm planning to probably go back in the wine industry because I'm a little bit a very small sommelier. You didn't know that. Oh, you do?
Oh.
So, and I want to probably go back and maybe learn a bit more. I don't want to go through those sommelier stuff, but I want to just do what little I know right now is the little sommelier. I just want to go a little bit more. That's all.
So you want to go back and learn more.
Yes.
About wine.
Yeah.
And being a sommelier.
So that's in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about that for me to do also, to see if I can continue that because I love to pair the food and wine together. So I'm out of this big meal stuff. I'm out of that. Everything is small because every chef I've been work around with, they tell me, it says, nowadays it's all about small bite.
Yes.
People can get full in a small bite if you have 4, 5, 6 course. Those bite. You just sit down and have a big fancy meal. It's over wine. You can't talk. You just little bite. You can walk around. You can talk. You can make conversation. So those are a lot of stuff that we do. So that's my thing. I've been focused also into it. That's why Cook and Fork is kind of successful a lot of ways because of that.
Wow.
Small little bite.
That sounds wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
sure your future education, more so with wine, is going to make Cork and Forks even more fantastic of an experience.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
I don't know. It's been a long journey, here in Monterey, and especially with MPS. I didn't expect I can do what I did today, and with little education I have. Okay, and I look at a lot of people with a large amount of education, and not a lot, but and they don't use it. But then you see people with a little education, you kind of go over them, past them, because we want to know more. We want to learn more. We want to make things better compared to a lot of people do. Education is really good. Little or more, whatever it is, it's education.
Yes.
Any career you get in, you do whatever you do, it's all education. Sit down and talk to me, it's an education.
Completely agree.
So that's what I feel. That's what I like to always expose that to everybody, make them understand. We need to make life better. We need to love each other. We need to care to each other. We need to help each other anytime, any way we could to do it, and just make it happen. Don't let that door close in your face all the time. Open it.
Don't let that door close in your face all the time.
It was a beautiful day today. It's my birthday today. You know that.
You mentioned that. I wish you a happy birthday, and I thank you very much for spending, well, arguably almost the past hour with me and having a conversation while on your birthday and clearly on a day off. I hope that this conversation continues to be shared amongst the students.
Please.
I will. The Trident Room podcast is a public podcast, so anybody can listen to it. So is there any last things or stories you'd like to tell and share either with me or our listeners?
Everything I did in my career, and I never regret it. I never did. Okay, I'm always, be proud of what I do, either good or bad. Okay, this career, it's with the military people here make my life the best of the best. It's a twisted. It's a very difficult thing for me to talk about. It is. It's. I don't know how much thank you I can tell all of you guys. How much it's so big. It's huge. It's huge for my heart. It's huge. I don't know how I can explain. I don't know how I can make the world understand and hear my voice to feel what I said about our military. And I want that to be out there. I want people to hear it. I want people to see it. I want people to think about a lot of things in life before we misjudge people. Okay? But who comes first in our world is our men and women. There's nobody else. We're here to do everything we could, be strong with them, support them, and give them all the love we could. That's what we're here, and that's what I'm here. And I want people to really see and hear me when I say things like that. Don't ask me questions, just listen and think about it. With my accent, probably sometimes people probably misunderstood the way I say things. It's okay, but it's very, very important. Those things is very, very touchy to me when I look at that. How we mistreat our men and women. We should never do that. We need to keep them up in the plateau. That's what they deserve it.
Well, you certainly have taken care of us here at MPS for the past 23 years. So thank you very much.
And it's you're welcome. It's a beautiful thing you did for me today, and it's to ask me this question, to pass it around. And I think a lot of people need to know they don't get a chance to talk to me. I love to talk. There's a lot of things I can tell you, but I really appreciate everything from you, everything, And this, hopefully, it will open somebody's eye and mind and think about what I said. So, thank you and thank you and thank you.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Okay. I wish I can miss your husband someday if you come up here, but no.
If he comes up here, I will try to find. Hopefully, Cork and Forks is back.
Yeah, I'm gonna be around. I'm not gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna be always coming and check that because I can't just walk away and leave this place. No, I'm just gonna be. So I am. No.
Yes.
Okay. So, any question?
No.
No.
I wish you the best of luck in your retirement, and I look forward to continuing to follow the story of Chef Loveday as you go through your wine sommelier training and Cork and Forks and your tastings.
Thank you again.
Thanks for joining us in the Trident Room. For more information about today's guest and topics, please visit the show notes. The Trident Room podcast has been brought to you by the Naval Postgraduate School Alumni Association and Foundation. For questions, comments, and suggestions, please email us at tridentroompodcasthost@nps.edu and find us online at nps.edu/tridentroompodcast.